Hello out there in Videoland. How are you? We just got to get our radio guys tuned in here because we know that it goes live on the radio. And once I get them up, we're ready to go. And there we go. We're going to push the buttons for the radio. Here we go. Hello, everybody out there in Radioland and in Videoland. My name is Paul Killamere. This is Absolutely coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario. I'm here with my co-host,
Jean-Louis Fillon.
Jean-Louis Fillon. That's correct.
Bonjour,
That's who that is.
bonjour mes amis.
And we got a good signal for the radio from Jean-Louis Fillon.
Est-ce que, Paul, est-ce que tu bien dormi ce soir?
Je suis pissed off.
Est-ce que tu bien dormi ce
I'm
soir?
boiling. I've had enough.
Il fait chaud?
I'm hot. I've had enough. I've had enough, everybody. I'm done. I've had enough. I've had enough with this team
C'est fini? C'est tout.
of bottom feeders, low scrapers, whatever you want to call them, last placers. I'm done. I've had it with these guys.
Whoa.
These are 25 resignation papers for most of the team because there's only 4 guys I would keep on this sad sack team right now, maybe 5.
Wow. What happened? Like 4 weeks ago, you were like riding high. You were like,
and then the season,
we're gonna make the playoffs, and then this is gonna be great.
And then the season started.
And then reality set in.
And then we lost 4 in a row, and we got embarrassed in front of our champions last night. 4 Stanley Cup in a row
Are the
winners.
Rangers the champions? No.
They're going to be this year.
Wow.
They're going to be this year, unless they face stiffer opposition than Montreal Canadiens.
We lost to the Stanley Cup champions last night.
Unbelievable game last night. It's just crazy. It's been a dismal week for the Habs.
Not one of my favorites. I can tell you that.
It's been a dismal week. Let's face it. I'm beside myself. 4 losses in a row. And it looks like we're headed for the number 1 draft pick.
Who is counting?
Yeah, well, you're better off not to count because you end up like me.
Yes, exactly.
Spitting fire. And you know, we should have beat LA. Come on, LA's not that great. They got hammered last night. And we don't beat them. Then we come back, we play the Islanders.
We lost to LA. Who was in net?
Sammy Montembeau.
Oh, that's right. That's SSS. I remember.
Yeah, the savior. Remember, everybody loves Sam. Oh, he won nothing over the Leafs. Oh, he's the big guy.
You were pretty high on him last week, I believe.
No, I really wasn't.
I thought you said we're going to go with the SSS for the 3 games.
Who the hell's that?
That was Sammy.
Yeah, well, they have to because Primo hasn't been doing anything great neither. But Sammy, that first game, he won 1-0. That's great. But Habs didn't play a great game, and I said that. And Sammy can't stop 48 a night. And Sammy, I don't even think he could play 62 games.
I don't know last night if he could stop 8.
You know what? Why didn't they pull him after 3? 3 goals in 6 minutes, and they don't pull the guy, Marty St. Louis, or even call a timeout. I mean, yeah, I got his resignation here too. Believe me, Kent Hughes must be going crazy.
The timeout should have been called actually after
you might have to call a timeout right now.
The timeout should have been called after the second goal because the second goal there was a major problem.
Yeah,
nobody knew what was going on.
Well, they're running around with their heads cut off like they've been doing for the last 7 games.
They thought it was icing, and New York took the puck and put it in the net. You know what? It reminded me of a road hockey game at your house.
Yeah, really.
The kind of stuff we would do. We'd hide the ball or something, then put it down and shoot and say, "Yeah, we scored."
Yeah.
It was just like playing road hockey at your house.
Yeah, if it was at New York, they would have blamed New York.
Wow, that was embarrassing.
Yeah, they're looking at each other.
If I'm the coach, I'm calling timeout, going, guys, are we playing hockey tonight, or what are we doing?
You know there is a game on right now, right, boys?
Absolutely.
Hey, what the hell? And all the Rangers went out and partied it up in Montreal before the game.
Well,
had a great time.
I think they partied afterwards as well.
Oh my goodness, And that in the LA game really made me mad as well. How can this team flies in from the West Coast? They play a tough game against Toronto the night before. They come into Montreal and they beat us 4-1.
Well, that has everything to do with the team following discipline orders, like team strategy.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. And you know what?
And that has everything to do with a word called immature.
Well, that could be. We could pass it off to that. But, I mean, there's not everybody on the team is immature. We've got guys who've been around.
Absolutely.
David Savard, Dvorak, Anderson. Who else is on that goofy line? I mean, really,
Gallagher.
our young, well, Gallagher's the only guy who does a bag skate every game. That guy never stops. I mean, I got to give Gallagher credit. He's the guy you should have put on the first line. We've got Kirby Doc.
Kirby Doc.
Is this guy on the beach?
Was
Is he
raving
lounging?
about Kirby Doc, I think, last year, saying we can't wait until Kirby Doc gets better and he comes back to the team.
Well, we thought that might be the case. It's proven wrong, and now I'm really worried about Line A. Is this guy going to be another stiff? We don't know. Everybody's going, Line A, if he was there. He's not proven. Nobody's proven anything to me with Line A.
Wait a second. Let's look at the stats on Line A.
So
Okay,
far
Line
this
A.
year?
Let's see how well he's done with the Montreal Canadiens. So far, he hasn't scored any goals. He has no assists, but he has no penalty minutes, which is good.
Well, that's good.
But he hasn't played any games.
How do you make out
no
of
shots on goal either?
But there are some bright spots. I'm mad, but there are some bright spots we'll talk about. Well, let's
there
just
are.
do something.
There doesn't sound like there's any.
Well, there is.
Okay.
Let's just do our Habs trivia. We usually do.
Yeah,
that. And it makes us feel good because we go back to the days when Montreal had a good team.
Those
and
were
they were competing.
The days,
my friend. I thought they'd never end.
Yeah, and
wrong.
Obviously so did the Montreal management because they keep reliving those days, and they started last night with the Montreal Canadian team from the 70s that won 4 Stanley Cups.
I was crying. I had tears in my eyes when these guys came out.
Tears
Ken Dryden and the whole gang came out, and some guys I never heard of, but they were there, I guess. And some
ice.
They come out, and we remember the glory days. Here's how bad it's getting. Everybody, I can't even make fun of the Leafs thing. I can't even mention 1967 because we haven't won the cup in 35 years.
1967.
Yes, last year the Leafs were in heaven.
Wow, that's like 60 years ago.
That's like 60 years ago. But I used to be able to make fun of them, that it was in black and white and that. Now, now our last cup.
I had a color TV, sorry to say.
Well, you know what? And back then, we weren't in high definition. So
that's for sure.
So at least
we are now.
Yeah, we are now, right? And I'm going to tell you, I can't even make fun of them anymore. It's 35 years since we won a cup, and it's going to be going on 40 because we're not winning a cup in 5 years. 2030, maybe. The way we got this team.
I thought you had us winning a cup in a couple of years.
I did.
What happened?
Well, the rebuild isn't working. Obviously, they're doing the rebuild wrong. This rebuild stinks.
Uh-oh.
It isn't a rebuild. You can't have a rebuild with these bums that we got now. You gotta clean house and bring in some players that know what the hell they're doing. And everybody says it's a young team. That's great. We gotta up the age with people who have been there and done it, and they're proven entities. They're not maybes like Line A. He's not a proven entity. He did a couple good years, and he's had crappy years, and we're hoping he gets back to 40 or 50 goals. But there's nothing guaranteeing that.
Yeah, and Line A hasn't played any time
right.
Yet, okay? So let's give him a little bit of a break because he hasn't been on the ice for the last 4 losses.
I don't think he would have made a difference last night.
I have no idea.
Well, I'm going to tell you. I don't think he would have. Let's go to trivia. Let's go to some beautiful times when Montreal had a team that could actually win. Right? Let's go back
1993.
to 1996. Shortly after our Stanley Cup, we were only 3 years old with hopes that we'd win another one in the next decade, or 2, or 3. Who was the Habs captain in their final game at the Forum in 1996?
Oh, well.
I got 4 names for you.
Well, I know who it was, I believe.
Oh, okay.
And he was like my favorite.
I'll give you 4 names.
Okay, give me the 4 names.
Okay, and then we'll see. Mike Keane.
Love Mike Keane. I mean, seriously, tough as nails. I have the utmost respect for how he played hockey.
Saku Koivu. Did I give you this question already?
No.
I haven't done this question.
Done this question.
Okay, Mike Keane, Saku Koivu.
Saku Koivu was a bit of a road runner, really.
He was.
He reminded me a lot of Ivan Koroyev.
He was a good player. Remember, he got cancer and then he came back. Saku.
Yep.
Yeah, he was. I love Saku Koivu.
And he was a great captain.
And we got his son, I believe.
He's in the system.
He's in the system. Yes, we drafted him.
Is he in Laval? I don't know.
I don't think so. I think he's over in where are they from?
Europe?
Sweden. Is he Swedish or Finnish or Swissish? Or
That
is he a
sounds
Swisher?
interesting.
He's one of those. What is he? Is he Finland?
I think he's Swedish, but
Swedish?
I need to look it up.
And okay, so 1 is Mike Keane, 2 is Saku Koivu, 3 Pierre Turgeon.
Pierre Turgeon, tough guy. Another tough guy.
Nice hockey player.
Did Turgeon play? Did he play forward or was he a defenseman?
He was forward, I believe.
Forward, okay.
And Kirk Muller.
Kirk Muller, another great player.
Well, we're talking the best of the best here.
From Kingston, I believe.
Yes. Don Cherry always reminded us of that. A good boy from Kingston.
Kirk Muller.
Where's a poppy? By the way, wear a poppy, you bunch of...
That got Montreal at least a few... It's a reprise from
yes.
Don Cherry.
Yeah, him and these Kirk Muller and Doug Gilmore were
Dougie
favorites
Gilmore.
from Kingston.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, what they have.
They were.
I gotta go with Kirk Muller.
Okay, Kirk Muller. Okay. What do you think up there in Videoland? Was it Kirk Muller, Mike Keane, Saku Koivu, or Pierre Turgeon? Write your answers down on the comments when you see the video. And I'm going to give you the answer, though.
I'm waiting.
The answer is Pierre Turgeon.
Wow.
These were all great players, and any one of them.
Turgeon was he was the captain when they moved from the farm to the Bell Center. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was the captain in their final game at the Forum, so he would have been the first captain at the Bell Center.
Exactly.
So there's another little piece of trivia we could have done, but you ruined it.
Oh. That was a very memorable night when they did the torch.
Oh, it was just amazing. That whole ceremony. That's one thing about the Habs. Their ceremonies are second to none. Last night was so touching. Standing ovation for all these players. We saw some of the greats of our... Well, I mean, not our childhoods, because our childhoods were more than 30 years ago.
Well, our teens.
But yeah, our teens and our 20s.
Early teens and 20s.
Yeah.
I mean, most of these players probably are about 10 years older than we are at this point.
They all looked it.
Easy.
They all looked it. But yeah, Turgeon, he was the only one that wore that C, and when we crossed over to the... Well, it wasn't called the Bell Center, though.
Okay. What would it be called then?
It was called the Molson Center.
The Molson Center. Wow, so interesting.
And then it became the Bell Center. Could have been the Molson, I don't know. Today it'd be called the Molson Ballerina Center, the way they play. Okay, now this is kind of a trick question, though, because the reason being that Mike Keane started out wearing the C at the beginning of the season, but was traded in December of 1995
to Dallas,
to Avalanche. Remember, he went over with Patrick Waugh. Yeah, to the Avalanche. He went over with the Patrick Waugh trade.
Right.
And we had that on one of our trivia questions before. But who was traded with Patrick Waugh?
Yeah, he wound up in Dallas, I believe.
It could be.
With Carbo.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. And that's when Turgeon took the C and ended the season with the C. The hallowed Forum closed on March 11th, 1996. A sad time for all us Hab fans.
Yeah, great building. I mean, I remember going there so many times. I got to go there in 1964. I think it was 1965 I went. I saw my very first NHL hockey game on December 27th. I believe it was the Red Wings playing the Habs.
Yeah, since we left there, Habs.
I got to sit on the catwalk, which was fantastic. It was amazing. And then after the game, my uncles took me to the outside of the arena, and we waited for the two teams to come out from the dressing rooms. And I got autographs of Dickie Duff and Jean Beliveau and I believe Bobby Rousseau. So it was for me. It was thrilling because I was 11 years old.
Yeah, unbelievable, huh?
Yeah, and many times I've gone back and I've walked through the halls, gone in early, taken a video camera, recorded so many of the great memorabilia that would be in the Forum. Always a treat to go there. And once I got to actually play at the Montreal Forum on the Montreal ice, and
thrilling.
Yeah, and then hang out in the dressing room of the Keep the Canadian.
That's a thrill.
The actual dressing room in the Forum. Yeah, fantastic.
Oh, that's a thrill for a Habs.
It's a memory that I'll always treasure.
Skate on the ice and then get to go in and see the dressing room and that. I mean,
maybe that's what I need to do. Is I need to get back now to the Bell Center because I've never skated there. Maybe I can work some magic and change our chunks.
Yeah, get what's his name?
Change
Drew Deeks. Drew Deeks will get you there. He's got the connections
Change
over there. So anyway, we go back and Turgeon was drafted by the Buffalo Sabres first overall in the 1987 entry draft. He played for multiple teams, including the Islanders, the Habs, the Blues, the Stars, like you said, the Stars, and finally the Avalanche. Did he go back to the Avalanche?
He may have.
He may have. He is one of 48 players that have reached the 500 goal plateau in the NHL. Turgeon joined the Habs in a trade for Kirk Muller, Matthew Schneider, and Craig Darby, with Habs getting Turgeon and Vlad Malikov.
Matthew Schneider was a nice little defensive guy, I believe.
Yeah, Matthew Schneider was really good. He's a tough guy, good defenseman. He had a 96-point season with the Habs in 1995-96 with 38 goals, 58 assists. Not too shabby.
That's the kind of numbers we want to hear.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He was inducted into the Hall of Fame on November 13th, 2024.
2024.
Am I predicting it?
I guess you know it's going to happen.
I think it would have been 2014. Or else I'm a psychic, and I'm not a psychic, so figure that one out. Let's call it 2014. Having amassed 515 goals, 812 assists during his career, he also received the Lady Byng Trophy in the 1992-93 season.
The year we won the Cup, I guess, right?
92-93. Did we win 93-94? No, 92-93. He received the Lady Byng. After his hockey career ended in 2007, Turgeon coached with the LA Kings in 2017 for a year, then resigned due to family issues. Now he makes his home in Colorado.
Nice. Very nice.
So there he is. There you go. Last captain of a team when they played their last game at the Forum. Oh, that was so nice to remember.
Yeah.
I have serenity now. I actually calmed down.
After all of those, after all the great players we saw last night, thinking about the great players like, Turgeon.
Oh, yeah. I just love when they come out like that. Those guys formed our childhoods in the 70s. I mean, we watched these guys beat the big teams, win 4 in a row.
Yes, they were playing in the big league.
And now we're relegated to beer hockey. Our
team is still playing in the big league.
Well, the question isn't if they're playing it's whether they deserve to be playing. I would have brought Laval up for that game and lost it 100-2. What's the difference? That was just a sad game. But anyway, let's look at these games this week. It was a sad week for us. That was just terrible. I want the team to be 500. I thought after 20 games, we'd be 500. We'd have improved from last year. We're playing at a 238 pace now. Not 500, 238. Not 500, 50%. No, 23.8%.
That's not so good.
I'd say no. I'd say it's not very good. LAF, this is a game they could win, of course. Back-to-back, having a tough game against the Loafs the night before and being on the road to face the Habs in Habsland. I thought we'd see a better game, but it wasn't to be. Alas, Barron got the lone goal.
Yes, and Barron's a defenseman, right?
Yeah, he is.
And I think he skated in all by himself and put the puck in the net.
It was a beautiful play.
It was a beautiful play. But is that the strategy of the Montreal Canadiens at this point?
Well, I'd say somebody's got to score.
Somebody needs to score.
And our forwards aren't. At a 4-1 game, our defenseman got the only goal. So, hey,
okay.
Kudos to Barron. Kudos to Barron. And it was just a disappointing game. No energy. Monty laid down a decent 903, but Habs were 0-5 on the power play. And here we go again with the power play. Although the numbers on the power play aren't that bad this year. We're sitting at around 80. What is it? Around 80. for the first 7 games anyway. We're sitting around 80%, I think. So that's a bright spot. 23.1% on the power play, and the PK is running at 88%. We're over 100%. Like I said, we have to be.
So
Good teams are 115.
So we're looking decent.
Well, 7-game sample, yeah, but
that's right. But 7-game sample is what we're talking about. So everything that we talk about today is over a 7-game sample.
Right. So
okay.
We're like 2 for 7. If you move that out to the next games, and we'll talk about the next games towards the end of the show. Yeah, we're not going to quite make 500, but this power play is still not really firing that great. Although we have had a couple power play goals.
We had a goal last night, actually.
Yeah, we had one the night before. I think we got one power play against Islanders
on Saturday night.
Yeah, it was. I think it was one power play. That was it. We scored a goal on it.
Excellent.
And I think they had 6 power play chances, and I think they only got 1 goal too.
But that's our disadvantage, is giving people opportunities.
That's right. We're taking a lot of stupid penalties. When I see the games, we are taking dumb penalties.
Absolutely. And I think it was Anderson last night who took a really stupid cross-check.
Yeah, he did. Actually. That was useless. That was dumb. Yeah. And they laid out Jack Guy. They put him off the team because of
he's off the team.
Well, he's on the bench. He's a healthy scratch.
Oh, he's a scratch.
But he may be off the team the way people are talking.
There's talk of trade. There are a lot of trade rumors on the internet.
And I don't get it because, our team is such a soft team. We are friggin' give them figure skates. And they get clobbered all the time. Look at the injuries we got already, and there's nobody there to police anything. Matheson had to fight somebody after that clobbering on Barron, that headshot. I hope that guy gets suspended a few games. That was a high hit.
Yeah, that definitely was.
Even though the referees are blind, I mean, it doesn't matter. The league can take care of it now, right? But somebody has to go out and fight a Matheson. He's not a fighter. He's a lover, not a fighter.
He's a scorer.
Yeah, he's a moving guy. He's not a fighter. But who are you going to send out?
Ghostbusters.
The Smurf Patrol? Go get him, Cole.
Pizzetta.
Go get him.
Michael Pizzetta.
Yeah, well, where was he?
He was playing last night.
When's the last time you saw him get in a skirmish or a fight?
In a while. But he threw body weight around last night.
Yeah, I'd like to see him and Florian Jack Guy and the sheriff and a few more. We need a few more tough guys that are skating around here patrolling the lanes. Believe me. But yeah. So that was a discouraging game against LA. I just said that was the game that, in our estimation here, that I said they were going to lose or they're going to win.
Yeah, you were high on. As I recall, you were really high on Monty.
Yeah, I thought we could beat him, and Monty proved that. He had one good game and maybe another one against Ottawa.
Do you remember that?
That was it.
Remember a band called Zon from 50 years ago? They were a Canadian band.
No,
they had a song called "Back Down to Earth."
Well,
seems I've been away too long.
Well,
and it kind of just came into my mind as we're talking about the Habs.
Yeah, and he got pulled last night.
Back down to
Earth. At the beginning of the season, I said that one of our Achilles heels was going to be goaltending. And we're seeing this pop up right now.
Yeah, but a few weeks ago, you were talking about this guy, Montembeault, and how he could be like, maybe he's our goalie.
Oh, I would never say that.
No?
I've never believed that. Okay. I mean, the 1-0 game, I said that, this is a career game for him. You're not going to see it again. People were yelling at me because they thought they found their goaltender. This is it. We've got our goaltender now.
This is it.
And you know what? And I said, no, he had a career game. No goaltender can take 48 shots a game and be consistent through a lot of games with that. They're gonna wear it out. I mean, you're gonna wear the guy out if you let that many shots.
Samuel Montembeault cannot play the amount of games that Carey Price played for the Montreal Canadiens.
No.
He'll never have the success Carey Price had.
And looking at him now, I don't even think he could play 50 games. We need 35 games out of our backup goalie.
Well, Montembeault may have to be the backup.
uh, uh, I have to think that we have to do something with these guys. Maybe bring Dovish up or something. I mean, we got to stop the sieve. And in Montembeau last night, 6 minutes, 4 goals.
It was quick.
It was quick. I mean, and like even Marty said, you can't give these teams like any team in the NHL 3-0, spot them 3-0, and expect to win. I mean,
So Marcy said, "Let's go for 4." We can't do it with 3, but we could maybe do it with 4. So let's go.
I mean,
roll the bones.
Yeah, he wasn't a happy camper either, right? Because some of this blowback is coming on him for sure.
Well, again, MSL can talk strategy and he can encourage his players to execute his game plan, but he can't go out there and do it himself.
No, he can't. He's got to get these players motivated somehow, or get them to play. But
so either these players are buying into a system or they're not. Well, from what I understand, the system on offense is to keep it simple.
Well, they are.
Well,
don't score goals, and then just
the idea behind keep it simple is take the easiest way to take the puck out of your D zone. Okay, so I mean, last night, right from the get-go, we had like Lane Hudson, driving to the net and trying to score immediately. And, sadly, he didn't. And then he took himself out of that play.
Yeah, that was a goal.
So he left himself behind the red line in his O-zone and had to scamper back. And at that point, now the Rangers have the puck, they're in control, and the Canadiens are scampering to get back into position. And that is exactly what Marty St. Louis does not want out of this team.
Yeah, and Rangers got a fast team. They're fast, they're talented, they're tough. They've got it all, and a tremendous goaltender. I mean, this team really is built to win a Stanley Cup. And, I mean, unfortunately, Montreal doesn't have a lot of speed. We saw that.
And a team like that, like the Rangers, are waiting for you to make mistakes. They'll give you the ice to go out and try to execute some grandiose play. And then when you fall on your face, they'll grab the puck and they'll snipe it into the net because they're excellent shooters.
Oh, yeah.
They're marksmen. I mean, if one of those Rangers had a gun, they would have taken Trump out. They're marksmen. No, how many crossbars did they hit?
Well, they hit two crossbars and 3 posts.
I had ringing in my ears when I woke up this morning from last night's game.
Well, see, that's why if they're a marksman, it would have been 11-2.
They are amazing. If you hit the post, you score a goal. If you're the forward, if you're taking the shot, if you're the goalie, you stop the puck.
Yeah, it's not even a shot on net.
That's the way it works with.
If you're the league, it's not even a shot on net.
That's right. That's the way it works with the net. Okay.
So over to the Islanders game. I thought the Habs were going to lose this one, and they did. But at least they took the Islanders to a shootout.
And we should have won that game. We had every opportunity to win that game.
Yeah, we did.
And we played them in overtime. We played them well, and then we had a shootout.
Yeah, and I thought Caden Primo had a good game with a 9-17.
He had a great game. He played extremely well. Yeah. And I mean, what did he stop? 8 or 9 shots in the shootout.
Yeah.
Or
they went about 8 rounds
into the 8th round of the shootout at least.
And the Islanders are, they're a mediocre team. They're not really like.
Who coaches them?
That's what's his name? Patrick Waugh, I think the guy's name is.
Patrick Waugh.
Yeah, our coach.
That was like maybe one of the best goaltenders who ever played for the Montreal Canadiens.
That's right.
Patrick Waugh.
And then a guy like Mayu, he got a goal, so he got his first NHL goal, his first game. So that's awesome. I really like
it. Was awesome. I mean, they bring up Mayu and boom.
It was a beautiful goal.
He's playing like he's been in the NHL forever.
That's what I was going to say. He looked really comfortable out there.
Absolutely.
Took a step to the middle and fired it right in the top.
Absolutely.
Shootout was a little bit of a joke. Our superstar rookies showing the veterans how to put the puck in the net, capping it and Heineman scored, and they were beautiful goals. All these other goofballs are
Suzuki,
Dipsy Doodle,
Caulfield.
Dipsy Doodle. They go to the boards and I don't know what that play is. Heineman then went to the net and picked the corner and banged it away. What the hell are these other guys doing?
Absolutely. I think they're trying to sneak in, but you can't. There's no way you can sneak in. I don't know what they're doing. You're right.
I don't know.
I agree.
I don't get it. And you know what? That's why I say I would have rather see Heineman or Kapanen up in that first line with Caulfield and Suzuki rather than Doc. Doc hasn't done nothing, but these guys at least have been putting the puck in the net, and they got a shot, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, Doc's big, so they think he's going to dig the puck out of the corner.
But you know what? You're trying to establish a line that lost one of their players, like your second line lost Lanning. Okay. So you're trying to establish that line. Now you rip it apart again by taking Doc away from Newhook. So why not keep that line intact and take somebody from third or fourth line?
Yeah,
because we have enough players. I totally agree with you.
And like I say, even Gallagher. I mean, he
could have been Armia.
Armia.
There's a ton of people to choose from. Anderson's played with them in the past. Why not give him a spark?
Yeah, I don't understand bringing Doc up and taking the Newhook Doc and who the heck's else on that line now? Newhook Doc and who they got up there? They brought up
Dvorak.
No, was it Dvorak? No. Who was the center for
Armia?
that line? Once Line was out, it would have been.
It's one.
Yeah, it was Armia. I think it was Armia they brought up. Yeah. Oh, anyway. That's another one, another loss, and Kapanen and Heineman.
But we got a point. We got a point. And we did talk about. You said 2.5 games, I think, last week. Montreal was going to win 2.5 games.
I figured they'd win the LA game and lose the next two, the Islanders and Rangers. And you said, Johnny said, they win with the Kings. They lose against the Islanders, and they win against the Rangers.
Right. I thought we had a half game in there somewhere, but that's okay.
Well, I think you called one of them a tie.
Yeah, we talked right at the end of the show last week about a tie.
Yeah, there was going to be a tie,
and there was a tie, so we did call that.
So I mean, the Rangers. I mean, we've already talked about that. It's just this game was over in the first 6 minutes when you let 4 goals, and this team's just too good. You're not coming back. It can only get worse. And even before the game, I had a post on Facebook on one of the Habs pages saying, tonight we are going to get our asses kicked.
Really?
That's what I posted. No, we're not. Yeah, well, my comment aged well. And it's not because I don't have any faith in the Habs. People call me a traitor. It's because realistically, you're playing the best team in the league. And after the first games that we saw, the first 6 games, there's no friggin' way that I could seriously think Montreal was going to come up and beat these teams.
Well, realistically, that's exactly what we saw last night, is where this team is. And what to expect throughout the rest of this season. I mean, there's opportunity, obviously, for improvement, but this team is not, as a lot of people are jumping on bandwagons over the last 2-3 months with so many different events taking place and transpiring and getting excited, where we hit reality, and this team has a lot of work still to do.
It really, really does.
This rebuild is not instantaneous. It takes a long time with what we're trying to do. We're selecting draft picks and prospects, and then we're trying to weed out which ones will make our team. And yet at the same point, we're trying to develop them. And we've decided to go with this plan of grabbing a wealth of them. Okay? So it's almost like kind of like this funnel effect where we want to funnel them down. But at this point, we have so many that one of our biggest challenges is to how to place them within our organization. I mean, you can only have so many players on a team, and you only have so many development places for those players.
True enough. But I think what Hughes is going to have to do, he's got to do this right away. He's going to have to pick up some players that have NHL experience and they're proven. I don't think you can.
But we have more players than we can deal with right now. And I think what we have to decide is that we are not making the playoffs this year and agree to that. And we may not make the playoffs next year and agree to that. If we are going to go forward with the current plan of the rebuild. Otherwise, we're changing our plans as, you know, as that great band from Oakland used to say, don't change horses in the middle of the stream.
Well, they've already done that. I mean, they're not using the rookies that they picked up and brought up. We've got these stiffs that are on this third and fourth line. We should have Beck up. We should have Mayu up. We should have these guys up.
Well, Logan Mayu had a tough game last night.
Well, I mean,
okay.
I think everybody was mindless.
We had Mayu playing with Hudson. And I don't know if that's the right idea either. Two rookies playing together.
I don't really like that combo.
I might love that combo 5 years from now, but I don't know if I like it today.
See, in Laval, Jack-Eye and Mayu were together, and they were fantastic.
But they were playing in Laval.
That's all right. That's all right. And then we had Hudson and Savard playing together, which I like.
I like that.
Right? So Jack-Eye and Mayu, and then we have Gooley's out now, and Barron. I don't know. He got his bell rung. He might not be back for. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about him, but
I haven't heard anything.
He looked like he was in La La Land when he got up off the ice.
Yeah.
So that may be an opportunity to get somebody else in this lineup. We got Struble, maybe Struble.
Struble just came back.
Yeah, Struble and who's left over now? Gooley's out, Barron's out. Who we got?
Well, Jack-Eye didn't play last night.
Jack-Eye. Bring Jack-Eye back in. Put him with Mayu and Struble and
you have Matheson.
Yeah, Struble and Matheson or something like that.
Well, Matheson will play with. I think Logan Mayu and Matheson would be good.
That'd be all right too. But I mean, you know, like we've got to get rid of some of these guys. We got to have guys who know what they're doing. You can't run with a team of rookies forever, new players forever. At some point, you need people who know what they're doing who can help these guys.
We don't have a lot of rookies on the team. What rookies do we have on the team?
Well, not anymore because they're 2 or 3 years old, but they're saying you can. They're all new players, which they're not.
Well, they're not. So we have Lane Hudson.
And they're not performing.
Yeah.
So now what do you do?
So, well, here's the deal. I mean, the players that we know we're going to have to off-board players at one point. We know that Gallagher won't be here in 5 years.
5 years?
We know that Anderson won't be here in 5 years.
5 years?
We know that Armia won't be here in 5 years.
5 years?
There are a lot of players that won't be here in 5 years.
I don't think they shouldn't even be here for the next 2 years. We got to move these guys out and get some guys.
And they will be moved maybe in 2 years. But what's the best way to develop players? Is it if we had like the magic wand and we could get rid of those 3 players we just talked about and bring in Owen Beck and 2 other people like Joshua Waugh and somebody else from Laval, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Is that going to be the best way to develop these players to play in the NHL? Will it actually give them enough ice time? So like right now, Owen Beck is playing in Laval. He's got nice numbers and he's getting probably 10 to 15 minutes of ice every game. If he comes in to play in the NHL because we're saying, you know, we can't handle Anderson anymore on this team and we put in Owen Beck, well, he's going to get Anderson minutes still because he won't be on the first line or the second line. And that is the dilemma, is giving Owen Beck the opportunity to develop his hockey skill because he's only 21 years old.
But you're talking about a 5-year plan. We're already 4 years into his 5-year plan.
I don't.
So now you're talking about a 9-year plan, right?
You know what? It might be a longer than a 5-year plan. Okay.
I'm saying 2030.
And I'd say when we started, like we've been doing this for 2 years. Okay?
Oh, more than that.
So, well, we did 100 shows, right? 100. This is our.
Oh, we've been doing this for.
That's right.
Yes.
We've been doing this for 2 years.
2 years.
And that's really, we came in when the whole thing was starting to take place with Kent Hughes. And what I think has happened is, we might be second year in, but if it's a 5-year, I really think it's at least another 4 years away for sure.
So you're talking 2030 now.
I am talking. It's 2024.
Yeah.
I'm talking 2028, 29.
Okay, so Hughes' plan was 5 years.
Yes.
Now it's been extended to 10 years.
Not 10. Now come on,
Well,
man. Anyway, the bottom line here.
Like Suzuki's been here for 5 years now, and Caulfield's been here for 4.
It doesn't seem like it, does it?
That's what I'm saying.
So Caulfield came in at the very end of one season. Are you counting that as a whole season?
Well, yeah. He came in at the very end to play in the playoffs.
Yeah, this is his third real season, I believe.
Yeah, okay, that's 3 years.
Okay, so I'll give Caulfield 3 years, really. This is his third year of hockey.
Okay, give him 3 years.
So 5 years from now...
he's going to take another 5 years to...
Caulfield is developing well, but we need other players to come forward.
See, I think Hughes has already screwed up his plan. I think he's already screwed up his 5-year plan.
You're losing faith in Kent Hughes.
I'm not losing faith in him. I'm just saying I don't think he's sticking to his 5-year plan. Everybody says he's got a 5-year plan. They keep saying that, but I don't think he is.
Okay.
I think he's screwed it all up now, and now he's got to go.
How did he screw it up?
Well, because he's putting all these new guys on the ice.
Lane Hudson.
And then he's got all these stiffs that were picked up from before, and he kept them all.
Right.
Whereas if he wants to really make this a 5-year plan, he's got 2 years, right? Because you say Caulfield's been here. And he's got to get players that can play hockey. He can't have these third and fourth line bums hanging around. He's got to fill it with players who know what they're doing and can help the other guys to be what they can be. Right. Whether it's Beck or whether it's the guys,
Lane
Hudson, Caulfield, those kind of guys. And David Savard is good because he's been there. He can talk to Hudson and play with him, right? And help him out.
Except last night, he wasn't.
But you look at our team, and I asked you this before we started, and name players that are indispensable, that players you wouldn't want to get rid of.
I named, I think, 4 players.
Right.
And I named them because they were the contracts that Kent Hughes had given out.
Yeah, and
that was Caulfield, Slavkovsky, Suzuki, and I said Doc.
And Lane Hudson.
You added in Lane Hudson.
Yeah, I don't like Doc, so he could be
Lane
gone.
Hudson right now doesn't have a real contract. I mean, he's
entry level.
He's on entry level.
So that's all right. But Lane Hudson, I wouldn't get rid of. I wouldn't get rid of.
And I'm not saying to get rid of Lane Hudson.
No. But he's one that I wouldn't get rid of.
But what I am saying is that Lane Hudson needs a lot of development.
He does. But he's got it up here. You can see that he's got it. Not just that.
He's got skill, but it's going to take some time for him to be the player we expect him to be. It's going to take him some time to reach his ceiling in the big league.
Yeah, he's been 7 games.
So, exactly. Exactly.
So it's going to take him more than 7 games.
Absolutely.
And he's going to learn by his mistakes in the NHL. But you see,
as he makes mistakes, the team will suffer for those mistakes collectively.
Yeah, but you see, the Rangers shut him down. He was in dipsy doodly and skating all over last night. He was a little bit more held because.
Well, the coach, I think one of the coaches for the Rangers coached him at one point in the USA, and it did, and he also coached his brother as well.
Yeah, Cole.
Correct.
Cole Hudson.
Yes.
So I think they got to look at this team. He's doing a rebuild, but eventually he's got to come to the conclusion that he needs players who know what they're doing. That's my opinion. I don't know.
I just think it
might be wrong.
I think if we're doing this rebuild, we have to realize it's going to take time, and that we have to give. We also have to realize that as we add players into the system, we have maybe sometimes too much to deal with. Okay, so we may be actually not devoting enough energy to a player's development because it's being spread over to other players, let's say. Okay? So we've got to get a little tighter because, every time there's a player that seems to be like an unrestricted agent that we can take, we pick him up. We've traded up for draft choices, so we have so many draft picks that we have in our system. So now it's developing that. and it's giving them the opportunity to play. That takes time. And that's the issue that we have because everybody are looking for results. We hear about, oh, we signed Linné. Oh, we're over the moon. We signed Demidov. We're going to the Stanley Cup tomorrow, basically. You know, a guy like Demidov, and I love him, and he comes in, I can't wait to play for the Montreal Canadiens. I want to be a Montreal Canadian. Well, and everybody goes, woohoo, we're excited. But now the hard work comes into play. When Marty St. Louis has a team and he says, listen, we're a little inexperienced here on certain things. And we're pushing all the time. And when we push, we make mistakes. And when we make mistakes, other teams take advantage of us. So don't push so hard. Just throw the puck up. You know, on offense, keep it simple. Throw the puck into the zone and go chase it. Go get it.
But you see where the problem is here?
But we have a guy like Hudson who wants to grab that puck and own that puck and keep that puck. And then at one point, somebody says, oh, look, he's coming across the ice and he's got his head down. I'm going to take that puck right off the stick. And now it's me against the goalie. And guess what? I'm going to put the puck in the net.
Well, with our goalies, yeah.
And that's exactly what one-on-one. You know what? A forward one-on-one has the advantage over the goaltender. Sorry, that's the way it is.
I never saw any forwards winning a Vezina.
That's the way it is. Neither have I, but I've seen them win the Art Ross Trophy
and
the Maurice Richard Trophy.
But they're not scoring it on one goalie.
And the Maurice Richard Trophy.
And
they're scoring on many goalies.
And there's some goalies who don't score on at all.
Well, Carey Price,
right?
We love you.
You know, so
we love you.
But Carey. You see the problem with what you're talking about is that we keep getting 11 draft picks every year. You know what that means?
Too many players.
No, it means that we suck.
No.
It means that we suck. We need a time when we're not getting any draft picks because we got a team that has depth. We don't need them.
It means we keep trading for draft picks.
We don't trade enough players to get the 11 draft picks.
Well, everybody gets the same amount of draft picks.
They get it according to where they finish, and we have 11. Other teams.
We don't get more. We get better placement from where we finish, but we don't get more choices.
But we need depth. We need to have our good draft picks sitting in Laval and team guys that can play hockey on our team.
Absolutely.
That's where your depth comes in. Everybody's crying about Linné, and everybody's crying about Slafkovsky and all that. But where's our depth? Where's the players that we can bring up? That the third and fourth line. Where are these guys who are playing so that we don't have to worry about that? You know why we don't have it? Because we got 11 draft picks.
Because they are still young.
No.
They have not developed.
Because we got 11 draft picks over the last 3 years. I mean, you know, like eventually we have to say we don't want draft picks. We got a team that can compete.
Absolutely.
Like we keep bringing in all these new players, all these prospects and draft. We've had 33 over the last 3 years or something. And where has all this got us?
It hasn't got us to the Stanley Cup.
It hasn't got us anywhere.
But the plan...
We haven't improved over 3 years, and we're regressing this year.
But the plan is, or the talk is, if you believe in the plan, is that it's going to be 5 or 6 years.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what they said 4 years ago. And now it's not 2030. We were going to be 25, 26, 4-year plan, 5-year plan. Now it's 2030. And in 2030, it'll be 2035. Because we're not doing the right things to improve this team. And I don't even have to make a case for it because last place, 28th. Does that say anything to anybody? And we're going to go to 28th this year, 4 years in a row. If that doesn't tell you what's going on with this team and that they're on the wrong track, I don't know what does. I have nothing else to say. I can't say anything. If you don't see it, you don't see it.
Then we're going to have to change a lot of things.
Well, yes, we are
going to have to change the coach.
Yes.
We're going to have to change the the GM.
And we're going to have to trade some of our draft picks for players that know what they're doing now to cut down this 5 years and 10 years and 20-year plan that he has. We've got to do something. I mean, seriously, we can't go another year like this. 2 28s in the last place. And we're happy with that? And we're saying, we had a tough start. No, we don't have a tough start.
It's only 7 games. I think you said that about 20 minutes ago.
But the 7 games
I think you said it's only 7 games.
It is. But I'm going to tell you, in 20 games, I'll be saying the same thing. Because these are the kind of starts that you have and you don't make the playoffs. We expected more this year. Ken Q said he expected more this year. So I don't see any more coming in. You know what? I'll watch them for the rest of the year, but, you know, I think we're going to have a lot of moments where I'm yelling and screaming in here and saying that he's got to change his plan, his master plan, because it's done. He's already changed it. 11 draft picks this year coming up. I mean, we got to get to the point where we don't have any draft picks or one draft pick because we get the 30th draft pick or something.
So do you think we're kind of in the same situation as the Chicago Blackhawks?
I haven't watched the Blackhawks at all.
But do you think we're in the same kind of situation? I mean, they have
which Blackhawks this year?
Well, I mean, the Blackhawks overall. The Blackhawks last year got Connor Bedard,
no,
right?
Because I think the Blackhawks got balls. They moved Kirby Dach. You know? We've got to move some players. There's no players that we can't move, and they moved him because he wasn't doing according to their rebuild schedule, and they seem to be a bit better, but they're still not really great.
They have the same record we have currently.
Yeah. I mean, but they're moving people. They're willing to take a chance. These other teams, they will move big players. You see these guys moving Huberdeau and everything else and coming back and being better. You can't hold on to some of these guys who aren't performing. We got to be able to move in. It takes big moves to put on a big show to win a big Stanley Cup. And we can't hold on to these guys. They got to go.
I think they will go. And I think what we're doing with guys like Owen Beck is we're giving him the 10,000 hours he needs to develop.
10,000 hours?
10,000 hours. You know the concept, right? 10,000 hours?
Yeah, but in hockey, it doesn't work. I mean, you play an hour a day, 10,000 hours of game time.
You play a little more. 10,000. I'm not saying 10,000 hours.
Well, think about it. You play
game time.
You play 15 minutes of games. And
that's right.
And you play 80 games. How much is that? 80 times 15 is what, 900? Divided by 60. That's 10 hours a year. You want to give them 10,000 hours, I'm going to be in the ground for 1,000 years. 10,000 hours for somebody who can sit there and practice something for 8 hours a day. That's all they do. They bowl, they play guitar, they play drums. The
concept is practice. Okay?
Practice
when I say
makes perfect.
The concept is getting game experience, practice, all that type of stuff. Even on ice practice, off ice practice, mental practice.
But they need the NHL game time and experience. And Christian Dvorak, he's already proved he's a bum. Bring up Beck. Put him as the center on the third or fourth line. I mean, see, we got to bring these guys up and let them play. If we're gonna suck, we're gonna suck. Let's suck and at least get some experience for these guys to get them there. Well, I don't say 10,000.
Well, then that might be a way forward.
Like, we got to move people. We can't be afraid to move anybody. I don't care who it is. If there's a deal on the table,
I don't think they're afraid to move people, but I don't think the deals are out there like you think that are available. I mean, what other teams are like yelling and screaming that they need to change their team?
A lot of them. A lot of them. You listen to their fans, they'll tell you. I mean, we don't listen to other people. We're Habs. That's all we care about. Somebody said, I thought you were a hockey fan. No, I'm a Habs fan.
Right.
Habs aren't playing. I don't care what everybody else does.
I agree.
I look at the scores after the fact. But anyway, so let's go to the next week's games. Oh boy. St. Louis, Philly, and Seattle.
St. Louis.
Now, I think we're going to lose against St. Louis.
St. Louis and St. Louis.
I think we're going to beat Philly. I think we can beat Philly, and I think we can beat Seattle. Although after this last little while, I am not sure what we could do anymore, but I'm saying lose against St. Louis and win the two against Philly and Seattle. John, you picked all three. Win, win, win. You picked 3 wins.
So against St. Louis, I mean, they have they're 4-3. Who else we're playing? Seattle?
Seattle and Philly. Philly and Seattle. And we're back-to-back with St. Louis and Philly. We play Saturday and Sunday.
At home?
That I'm not sure.
Is that a travel?
Then I'm not sure of. I didn't write down home in a way. I should have. Because that makes a difference, really, if you have to travel to the next city.
Yeah, and the Flyers are in the cellar.
Yep, so I think we can beat Flyers.
I think we can as well.
And I think we can beat Seattle. I think Seattle's coming to Montreal. I think. I think it's a look. I think it's a home game.
Let's have a look.
Philly, we might be going to. And there are 3 games this week. They're back-to-back, Saturday, Sunday, and Tuesday, I believe. So, like I say, I think St. Louis, we're going to lose too.
So you know what? It's nice that we have until Saturday to get our shit together, basically.
That's right. That's right.
Okay?
It's a nice
And
break.
Slavkovsky, I think, would have played last night if we didn't have that break. I think they said, you know what? Let him take a game off, bring him back on Saturday, give him all that time to get that to mend.
Well, that's good.
So I think that was smart, to be honest with you. So we play the Blues in Montreal on the Saturday night. We travel and play Philly on the Sunday. And then we play the Kraken on the Tuesday.
At home?
At home.
At Kraken. Okay.
So it's home, away, home.
Home, away, home. So who do you think?
So I'd like to see them beat the Blues.
You said that?
I'd like to see them beat Philly.
Yep.
And of course, I'd love to see them beat the Kraken.
Okay. That's what you picked. You picked 3 wins.
I'm going to go with goaltenders on those. I'm going to put Monty back in on Saturday night.
Monty. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to play Primo
Okay.
against Philly. And I'm going to start Monty again on Tuesday.
Yeah, that makes sense because we do have the back-to-back, and they usually don't play these goaltenders back-to-back.
That's the way I would do it.
So you think we got 3 wins coming up?
I think we have to go after 3 wins.
Okay, I think we're going to win 2 out of 3. We're going to do a meatloaf.
Okay.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
I hear that.
Okay, so we'll see what happens next week. If I come in with a smile, you know we had a good week. If I come in like normal, you know I'm going to be spitting fire again. We lose all 3. I'm going to be, well, that would be 7 in a row.
The key with this team is
7 in a row.
They really need to get behind the strategy that is being put out there. And believe me, we're going to know, we'll know in 2 years where this team's at.
I know where they're at now. I don't need 2 years.
We'll know where this team is at in 2 years.
I'll wait.
And
I'll
remember,
be patient
remember that MSL's contract is up next year.
Well, maybe before that.
And so is Patrick Waugh.
Maybe before that. Okay, but I got to get some picks from you after that because I got 3.
We'll pick those games after.
Next week we'll pick them.
Yeah, we'll pick. Yeah.
Because I've got my picks in already.
I'm sure you do.
And you've got Calgary Devils, Leafs, Sabres, Minnesota Columbus, Oilers, and Vegas to pick. So we'll do that after next week. We'll fill that in for you. Mine's already filled in. I know what's going to happen.
There you go. What did you say for last night? What was your pick?
I said we were going to lose, and
Rangers, okay.
And I said that furthermore, we're going to get our asses kicked.
Perfect.
Okay, now 3 stars. Oh boy.
Boy, 3 stars.
No, we do have 3 stars. Don't worry. There were some bright spots in those 4 losses in a row.
Well, I mean, obviously, last night, Nick Suzuki came out and got his mojo going.
You got to agree 100%. It's good to see him
and it's good. And it's good to see a captain, after having being down by 4 goals, show his team how to do it.
Come on, let's get it. Let's go back and get him.
How to actually do it.
Yeah, and his first 2 goals of the season too, so that was great. I was happy for him.
And the second goal was just beautiful.
Yep, just gorgeous.
And that's what I want to see. I want to see the forwards taking that puck and try and score. I really believe that the second star goes to Pascal Vincent.
Okay.
Because he has been working hard in Laval developing the team. And like I say, Owen Beck, I think, is doing well. I believe he's got a goaltender from London, Ontario, another guy named Hughes, who is 6'4", 230 pounds, who's starting to put up some numbers. He put up some numbers in the Swedish league, and now he's over in Laval, and he could be somebody that we might see in the next year to 2 years.
Good, we need it.
Playing for the Montreal Canadiens between the pipes. And so Pascal, I think, is doing a great job. I mean, as soon as we brought in Logan Mailloux, he had instant success with the Habs on Saturday.
Yeah,
night.
and he had 2 goals and 2 assists in his first game with Laval.
So kudos to Pascal Vincent.
Number 3.
Number 3 last night, I'd have to give it to the post. I'd have to give it to the goalie post. They played a stellar game.
Okay, well, I got number 1 is Suzuki. I agree with you. It was good to see him back. The captain, El Capitan, is back. Number 2, Logan Mailloux. He got his first NHL goal in his first game. He's going to play an integral part of this team on defense, and it's good to see him in. And he looked like he was really, really comfortable playing on defense on the Montreal Canadiens.
He looks great.
So I like it. I like it. And number 3, I got to give to Cole Caulfield. He's on a great run with goals. He looks like he could be headed for 40, maybe even 50 if he keeps it up. Great start to the season, something that everybody else can look up to and say, yeah, we got to play like him. And he's proven he's Cole Caulfield.
Not only that, I mean, he's contributing to the power play. He's contributing to the overall first line.
Yep.
And so
I got to give him credit.
And so those are keys. We need a line that we can get production from. We've talked about it. We'd like to have 2 goals from that first line every game. We had 2 last night, and we had 2 the night before, and I think a couple of nights before that. So it's like, okay, where's everybody else, as we say?
Got to have them showing up. So I don't know what Marty's going to do. I have my doubts about Marty only because he may be in over his head with this team. It's a special situation with all these young players, and that's where
we need the patience, because we have young players. We decided to build a team with young players.
And you know why I wasn't?
So as all those young players grow up together, that's when the team will come together all at one.
Great theory.
All at one time.
That's a conspiracy theory.
Okay.
I was going to be a doctor, but I didn't have the patience.
I bet. I bet you didn't have them. They'd be like going, I'm not going in there. I'm not going in there.
Oh man. Anyway, we got to get out of here. It's 1:00, but thanks for listening in. Thanks for listening to my whining and
Merci
complaining.
beaucoup, mon ami. Keep the faith.
Oh, brother. Yeah. Pray.
No, that won't work. That doesn't help. Keep the faith.
Pray. All you got left is prayers.
Things will be, in 2 weeks, things will be more. You won't be worried about hockey.
That's right. We'll be out, and we won't have to worry about hockey anymore.
You won't be worried about hockey in 2 weeks. Let me tell you.
Yeah. That could be a good statement or a bad statement. It's up to you to decide. Either way, we're fans. We love our Habs, but man, oh man, sometimes it's tough being a fan.
It was a great night last night for the history of L'Équipe de Canadiens.
It was
the histoire.
We should have gave them a star.
I give Serge. I hope every player who hit the ice last night from the 70s team gave Serge Savard a star, because I'm sure what he said was, listen, guys, we had a nice golf tournament back in the beginning of the training camp, for ourselves. When should we do this ceremony? Maybe we should squeeze it in October, and we could have another golf game.
Yeah, maybe he did.
I'm sure that's exactly what's happening, because if you'd had the ceremony in January, there's no golf in Montreal, okay?
Yeah. Why not pick a team that we can beat, though? I mean,
I think it came down to the golf game. Yeah, that's what I think.
We have tea times.
Exactly.
I've seen weirder things, so yeah, it could be that. Anyway, my name is Paul Calabir. This is my co-host,
Jean-Louis Filion.
And we are absolutely coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, in the studios of 4680 Q Radio. Give us a like. Subscribe to the channel.
Leave us comments.
Tell me I'm a whiner. A lot of people told me that this week.
You're a whiner.
A lot of people have said that this week, that I'm a whiner. And I said the truth hurts.
I thought you liked beer.
Yeah, I'm not a wine.
Yeah, you're not a wine.
I'm not a wine.
Well, yeah, but you're not a wine person. You like scotch and beer.
Yeah, scotch and beer. They're my favorites. Yeah, I'm not a wino, but I am a whiner sometimes. And people tell me that, and I just say, you know what? The truth hurts. What am I going to tell you?
Right, absolutely.
The truth isn't pretty right now, everyone. See you next week. Like our video. Give us some comments, and we'll talk about them next week if you do comment. Have a great day. And let's hope we do better this week. Ciao, ciao. Au revoir. Bonsoir. What else can we say in French?
I think c'est fini.
Yeah, I think that ran
That's all, folks.
That ran the gamut of my French. See you later.